We are the home of the Ducks. Mm-hmm. So it happened right here on the Fan on Saturday. The Ducks dismantled Northwestern in front of no one. 34. 14? 14? They got 2 teddies?
The backdoor cover on that 70, whatever it was, 78-yard scamper. A lot of people did not like that meaningless touchdown at the end.
I thought the spread was 28.
It was
so it was 34-7.
It got as low as 26.5, and a lot of people had that.
Yeah. So
right on the number.
Yeah, right on the number. And yeah,
funny how that works.
That back door was wide open, and Northwestern went running through it. I would also like to point out that while there was a robust 9 people there, that stadium was far from full.
Well, that's because there was rain and thunder and lightning all day, Suke. Yeah. We can't blame the weather on
Tough
that.
Day.
It would have been full otherwise.
Tough day on the lake.
Tough day on the water.
Dusty said it was 60-40 Ducks.
Yeah, there was one whole. Well, the end zone section that they kept showing was all Oregon. So, and there wasn't really many people on the sides.
Boy, that stadium. I mean, listen, I get it. It's just temporary. They're doing their field and everything, but my God.
I mean, I think the alternative is going and playing at Soldier Field, where you're not. It's going to be an embarrassment, right?
Like, yeah, because no one will be.
Because it's a giant stadium, and you'll have as many people as were at that 12,000.
Yeah. Well, which is worse? Would you rather play at that with 12,000? Or would you rather play at Soldier Field with 12,000 scattered about?
I would rather play. Like when the Chargers were in that weird interim and they were playing in that soccer stadium. Now, granted, it was full of other people's fans, but at least it didn't look empty. There's nothing worse. Did you? I'm assuming.
Yes, I saw UCLA.
It is.
Oh, it's bad.
I cannot.
Well, they fired their coach, guys.
I cannot fathom what it must be like.
Well, if you guys saw that.
I saw it.
Deshaun Foster already got fired.
I can't fathom.
So did Brent Pry.
Virginia Tech. But no one knows who that is.
No, everyone's like, But what it must be like for the UCLA players to run out, like have your coach give you some sort of speech, and then you just run out to whatever the hell that is. I mean, I would much rather play. If you told me I had to play in a place that it was 7,000 people, but it was packed. 7,000 fans.
I think that's the better option.
I would rather play in the world's smallest stadium with 7,000 than go into the Rose Bowl that seats 100 and whatever and have 20.
Isn't it better for fans though to just kind of spread about, sit wherever?
Yeah, it's bad.
No problems at concessions.
No. But that's a wonky game. You got the early kick, no juice. No fans.
Hey, Northwestern was pretty good early.
I thought Northwestern played hard.
Yeah. They were well coached. They were ready. But, I mean, look, Oregon's just better team, better players. But
at no point.
That interception, though, early on. No, at no point was the game in jeopardy. No. It just wasn't.
No.
But the interception was kind of a big play.
Well, and we're going to sit here and you can kind of.
Early.
Well, they played. You were playing Purple Stanford. So you may look at that because it was 17-0 at the half. But again, I will go through the drives. Oregon got the ball first, 7 plays, and it kind of sputtered, and they ended up with the punt.
Punt?
Yeah,
hey, the punter got out there.
Right? Everyone was kind of like, oh, yeah, we're punting, right? And then the next possession, they got a touchdown. The next possession, they drove the ball down like 60 yards, 12 plays, and kicked a field goal. And then the next one was a touchdown, and it was the half. So really, that whole half, they had one possession that didn't end up in points. So I give Northwestern credit for pulling the Stanford. They were snapping the ball with 1 second left on the clock. And the one thing I'll say about Northwestern, that if you want to nitpick anything that Oregon did, and if you want to nitpick anything over the first 3 games, going into the season, one of the question marks that I had about Oregon was the front 7, right? Last year at times they struggled to stop the run, and it was a new group. And could this group stop the run? And a lot of what Oregon is doing, especially with their defensive tackles, is they're playing one gap. They're shooting gaps. And when Amari Washington and these guys are shooting gaps, it looks great, right? They're jumping through and they're getting tackles for loss. And you're kind of sitting there being like, dude, against better O linemen, you're going to get washed down. And against Northwestern, they were getting washed down. And when they were two-gapping and trying to play the run, they were getting pushed back. So that's where I give Northwestern credit. They kind of lined up and they pushed Oregon's D-line off the ball. And they had a good little run game going. In fact, on that one that was it was like 3rd and 1. Why the hell did they decide to throw the ball? So if there's one thing I'll point to, it's that's the first time over these 3 games that someone has put something on film that Penn State is going to circle and be like, okay, this is a weak spot. We can exploit this. This is something we can do against them. And that honestly was more of the reason why it was 17-0. Oregon had 4 possessions and they scored on 3 of them.
So what you're saying is watch out for our Beavers this weekend?
That game,
No?
well, the worst thing that could have happened to Oregon State was that not only did Oregon kind of come out of the gate maybe a little funky, it got their attention and they didn't finish well. And my guess is that Dan Lanning probably is secretly thrilled at the way that game went. Because it's one thing if you're ragging, like if I'm Tosh Lapoy and I'm Dan Lanning and I'm watching film and I'm telling my defensive tackles, guys, you know, if you keep playing this way, someone's gonna get you. But when no one's got you, it's kind of hard to take that seriously, right? There's no consequences to it. They're going to be able to put something on film and be like, guys, this is what I'm talking about. And there's going to be attention to detail, and they are going to finish strong. He is not going to be thrilled with the 2 kind of garbage touchdowns at the end there. And unfortunately for Oregon State, I think you're going to see Oregon finish. And that game, I think the spread is 35. And the correct side of that game is to lay the 35
35
points.
and a half.
35 and a half. That game will be as bad as Oregon decides it's going to be. Because there's, for all the talk about Oregon and what's happening, there's real problems in Corvallis.
You brought up Lapoy.
Yeah.
Did you see that graphic they showed early in the game of the 2015 Alabama staff?
Oh, my word. You want to talk about cutting your teeth?
That was amazing.
Because Lanning was a GA on that staff.
So it was Nick Saban.
Yeah.
You might remember he was the head coach.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Lane Kiffin, offensive coordinator. Kirby Smart, defensive coordinator. Mario Cristobal, offensive line coach. Billy Napier, wide receiver coach.
Yep.
Tosh Lapoy, linebacker coach. Mel Tucker, DB's coach. And Dan Lanning, grad assistant. All on the same staff.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And they won. Oh, by the way, they won the national championship.
I saw that graph and I thought the same thing. When we have Lanning on Thursday, one of my first questions will be, because like I've mentioned before, when I was with the Buccaneers, we had Mike Tomlin was a secondary coach for us. He was a coach of the corners. And even though he didn't do a whole lot, he kind of ran our scout team. And I remember in my little 1.5 year there being like, yeah, that guy is going to be a head coach. And I want to ask Lanning, like when you were in that setting, did you know that there was some serious gravitas to that staff?
Because he'd been some other places too.
Yeah, he'd been some. I just wondered if you just looked up and were like, yeah, this is a really, really special staff. Because sometimes you can tell, man. You can tell. I'll bet you someone when Lanning was a GA and as Lanning was an up-and-coming coach, I promise you other people looked at him and were like, dude, that guy is going to be a star one day. They
He was like the joke of the group. They were all like, Lanning.
Look at this guy.
Who's this jabroni?
Yeah, try cracking this lineup, Lanning.
Yeah.
Ain't cracking this. We got Mel Tucker over there.
Yeah, I don't think Mel's
Now
anywhere.
look.
I think Mel's still trying to sue Michigan State over that $80 million.
All right, well, the Ducks won the game.
Yeah.
But you're right. Lanning loves that. We talked about this with him last year.
Yeah.
He loves the game where they win and they do a lot of good things, but he has stuff he can nitpick.
It's the first time all year
He loves that.
that they've looked mortal and they've looked like everyone else in the country because there is not a lot of clean ball being played right now. From Ohio State to Penn State to Texas to a lot of these schools have just got LSU. There's been some kind of ugly moments, and Oregon hasn't had those. Oregon has been really clean. So it's the first time they faced some adversity. It's the first time there was some pushback. First time they've had some real errors, and they looked mortal. And I think you're right. I think that is going to be something that he secretly, not outwardly, but I think he's happy that he gets to put that on film.
Lanning doesn't love it when they don't cover. Good teams win. Great teams cover.
He is aware. Remember that was the game against Texas Tech where Bossa ran it back.
Yep.
He was aware because Lanning wanted him to go down. And I was like, some of us needed him not to go down. And Lanning was like, yeah, I know. He's aware.
By the way, the top 4 most bet sides last week in college football all failed to cover.
Yeah.
Remember what we were talking about last week?
Yeah.
And now on the first 3, you figured out the first 3 weeks?
Oh, I haven't seen the first 3 weeks.
So someone took the top 5 of the first 3 weeks, now 2-13 against the spread.
Yeah. Like, that's what we were saying last week. It's like anytime everyone is saying one game is an easy cover or a lock, go the other way.
Yeah.
And you would have been 4-0. It was Oregon. The whole world said, "Oh, Oregon's going to cover." Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
The whole world said Georgia was going to cover.
Mhm.
Well, they didn't.
Nope.
Depending on what number you have, but they won by 3. And the spread was 4. Clemson did not cover. Didn't even win.
Nope.
And not Central Florida, but South Florida got boat raced.
Yeah.
And that's the one we were talking about when we were at A&A. It's like, wow, look at this line. What are we missing?
They're
well,
begging you to take it.
yeah, it's like it's a trap line. It's like one of those you look at and go, that's too good to be true. I'm not taking that.
Dude, I was watching that Clemson game. Dude,
They're bad.
That is,
They're bad again. What is up with Clemson?
I don't know. There has been a regression.
That's a dadgum mistake.
It is the
There
daggum.
is a regression in quarterback play there, and there is real issues. And Georgia Tech has some serious balls because they ran out their kicker. They had a timeout left right at the end of that game, and it was a 40. I want to say it was like a 46-ish yard field goal, right?
Your balls jiggling?
And they had one timeout left, and they called it. And I'm like, all right, they're not just going to settle for like a 40 whatever yard field goal. Like they'll come out and they'll throw a ball, they'll get some more yards. Dude, they ran the ball.
Yeah.
They ran the ball, got like a 2-yard thing, and then I was like, oh my God, they're going to have to Mayday field goal this thing. Like, what are you doing? I was like, this is the dumbest. And they just quietly ran their Mayday field goal where they ran their guy out there, snapped it with like 2 seconds left. And that son of a gun, school record, tied the school record, ice water in his veins, split the uprights, stormed the field. Dude, that was awesome.
It was a good weekend for kickers.
Yes.
All around.
Well, not the Tennessee kicker,
Not
who
the
everyone
yeah.
knew was going to miss before the kick.
That
When they
poor
got
bastard.
Yeah.
He's become a meme, just his face like wide-eyed before
Oh
the
my
snap.
God. Yeah, you could. My wife and I were watching that game. She's like, oh my God, what is he, 11 years old?
Yep.
I'm like, no, but he is scared and he is not
And
going to make this.
here it comes.
You can see it.
Yep. Yep.
But he made the second one,
I am
or the next one.
one of my most disturbing
Didn't
trends
matter.
in football is the acceptance of, hey, we have a long field goal here, so
we're just going to
fine.
make this.
What?
It's
Like,
weird.
Didn't Indy do that? Or
Yes.
Because theirs was 60?
Yeah,
59?
and he was like, yeah, we're fine here.
They got lucky. They
even
got
not.
bailed out.
Dallas did it, but they don't care. Dallas said that,
Dude.
he said that they would have run him out at 70.
Aubrey's good
Yeah.
from 70, they think.
Well,
That
he
was-
is good from 70.
That
He
was
might be, but you should still try to get more yards.
That was 64, and they did the same thing. They ran the ball. They ran a draw. I'm like, you're just going to wander out at 60. And they were like, yeah. And by the way, that thing was good from 75.
So they're just laying down at midfield.
Yes.
Just like, you know what? Forget it.
Yes.
We're good.
You have Dak Prescott, and you're sitting there thinking, all right, you're going to get 10 more yards here. No, they ran the draw, and we're like, timeout. Hey, go get that done from 64. And he said, calm as day. And Aubrey, they said Boswell was a serial killer. That guy, he just walked right out there and just, ho-hum.
So he doesn't have enough field goals to register yet, like the minimum.
To qualify, yeah.
Yeah, to qualify. But he actually has the highest percentage in the history of the game.
Yeah.
In terms of kick percentage.
And
Like,
on top of that, he's got one of
higher-
the best legs in the history of the
yeah,
game.
he kicks it longer than anybody. But he's at 90.4%.
Yep.
That is higher than Justin Tucker.
I've never seen someone at a 60-yard field goal have his coach say, we don't need any more. We're not going to try to get any more. You just go do it. And it was never in doubt. When
Pretty
he
badass.
kicks, it was a 44 to win the game. It feels like he's like having to tone it down. Like, it's the difference between like swinging like a 4-iron off the tee and like a nice little lob wedge. It looks like he's kicking like quarter speed when he kicks the 44-yarders because he doesn't want to put too much into it. The dude is an assassin.